He do that for like 3 hours.
All right, how does he do it for 3 hours? That's what everyone's asking on this latest episode of the
Sorry.
3P Fitness Podcast, where we're part 7 of the 7-part series, the last in the series of 7 strategies to thrive. I don't even know what I'm saying. 7 strategies to thrive at a desk job.
Yes.
Number 7 is
Boundaries.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Got to set boundaries. So important.
Yeah. So this has gotten tougher since the pandemic because more people are working at home. And a lot of my clients are saying that the boundaries they used to have, like, drive to work, do my job, go home, the job is done. Now I'm having my family time. The boundaries on their time have really just disappeared.
Yeah.
Because now they're working through lunch and they're logging on earlier and they're staying much later than they normally would if they had to get up and leave an office.
Mm-hmm.
So the boundaries on time are really challenging if you're working at home. But it can also be a challenge if you're at the office.
Oh, I'm sure.
This can be tough because you can be, here's the biggest one is you're sitting there working, you're being productive, and someone comes up and talks to you. And every interruption costs you like 15, 30 minutes of get back into what I was doing, refocus, and go. So the quickest, easiest solution to that is not even, before you even talk to people and like start telling them not to approach you, is to just come before everybody and get as much work as you can get done before the bulk of the people show up. Mm-hmm. Another one, easy one, is what we're doing right now, is wear headphones.
There you go. Yeah.
Play some classical music. Hopefully they will get the hint that they're not supposed to talk to you.
Yeah. Some people won't.
Some people won't. So you may have to have what's called a crucial conversation. Okay, that's a book by Stephen Covey, but it's also a common technique. Just learning to ask for what you need. So if you have trouble with that, then there's something probably fundamental in your self-esteem or wiring where you feel like you don't have the right to ask for things. Yeah. So that is definitely worth working on. Yeah. Is saying, hey, I can answer your question, but I need to get this done. So setting boundaries on your time and letting people know, okay, this is when I'm going to leave work. I have an appointment afterwards. Some of my clients have issues with this, with you're on your way out of work and someone stops and talks to you and they want to gab, and you're off the clock and you're stuck talking to this person for 30 minutes. Yeah. And that's, to me, after office hours time is like golden. Yeah. And so they're stealing your time by doing that. So it's okay to say, I have to leave. Yeah. It's totally okay. I've got to go. Can we talk about this tomorrow morning? This is an important conversation with me. Can we, talk about this first thing in the morning? Yeah. So, all right. So then at home, boundaries on your space and your time. This is really important. We talked about this in an earlier episode about the movement. So when we started working at home, what little movement we got disappeared. So we're no longer getting dressed in the morning, combing our hair, walking to the car, then walking to the office, and then walking to the copy machine. And there was some nominal movement in there, but that all disappeared when we worked at home. Now we're in our pajamas, sitting in bed. Yeah. Like we're not even getting 500 steps in a day. Yeah. So you need to start setting boundaries on where you're willing to work in your house. Even if you live in a small house and you have to have your desk in your bedroom, then make the desk not be by your bed. Mm-hmm. Just make it so like I will get dressed and I will sit at my desk when it's time to work. I will not do work in my bed. Yeah. That's like the most important boundary.
That's
the most important thing. No laptop in bed. Yeah. So that's number one. And then the time can be really tough because it's so easy to stay logged on or get on earlier. When you're at home, it's like, oh, I'm here at home. I'm
not doing anything. Might as well just.
Yeah. People have said they are actually working longer hours now that they're working at home. So set those hours and stick to them.
Yeah. But the thing with boundaries, it's hard too. Is
tough.
You have to keep setting them.
Yes.
It's not enough because people will try to. Yeah. Even if you have, the right conversations with the right people. Yep. Eventually, it will.
Like, can you do just this one time?
Hey, real quick. Hey, yeah. Yeah. You have to keep setting them.
Yeah. So find a way to to fail proof it. You know,
Yeah.
set a timer, maybe get your computer to log off automatically.
Yeah.
So another issue is we have clients that work with international people, and so they have to do Zoom meetings and things in the evenings.
Yeah.
So this is going to mess with their circadian rhythm, their time and space boundaries.
Yeah.
So one thing that they do is they block off time in another part of the day, and that is their evening.
Mm-hmm.
So when you would normally come home and have your evening meal and enjoy your family time, that's going to have to happen at a different time than in the evening when you are working.
Yeah.
So set that aside and figure out, all right, you're going to have to schedule with your family. All right, we can't do our normal, what most families do,
Yeah.
or if you're by yourself, what I would normally do as my recovery time. So you're going to have to schedule that, block it off, put it in your calendar, and it is not available
Yeah.
for anybody. That's when you get do the things that physically, mentally, and spiritually refill you. It's really important to block that off and not just let it disappear because you have to work in the evening.
Yeah. 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 I think it's important to always remind yourself that you are not your job.
Yeah.
You know, like you are a human being. Like, and there's
Yeah.
always going to be more work, but there's not always going to be more dinners that you can have with your kid. There's not always going to be more time. You know, who knows what tomorrow has in store? You know, so
Yeah.
just make sure that you are taking time for yourself, for your family, and not letting work. It will at points, but just
Yeah.
we definitely want to set those healthy boundaries.
Definitely. And I think an element of humility helps too, because we sort of get a hero complex, like, oh, but I'm the one that can solve this problem. I
Yeah.
can be the hero here. It's like, no, you're not Superman. You're not
Yeah.
Superman. And the world will keep spinning.
Yeah.
Just, schedule that for another time. They cannot have your blocked off time.
I forget. This was a book I read like years ago. I don't even remember what book it was, but it said something to the effect of very few things are actual emergencies.
Yes.
Like most things can wait.
Unless you drive an ambulance or you're a fireman
Yeah.
on call,
Mhm.
it's not an emergency.
Yeah. You don't need to treat it like an emergency.
Right. Yeah. Remind yourself that nothing's truly emergency unless you're driving an ambulance.
Yeah.
So,
I get it's hard. I struggle with it.
Yeah, everyone does.
Everyone does. It's hard.
We're teaching this because we're learning it.
Yeah.
We're building the airplane while we're
Oh yeah.
while we're flying it.
Oh yeah.
So we know, we feel it, guys. We feel it.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, set those boundaries. Hopefully this was helpful. Just as a recap,
Yeah.
the 7 strategies to thrive at a desk job are: get more movement
Frequently,
throughout the day.
all day.
Frequently. Improve your workstation.
Yes.
Make it more ergonomical. Work on your posture, your upper body posture.
Posture check.
Work on your mobility of your lower body. Develop some strategies to navigate your food environment. Make sure you're doing the best you can to limit the screen time. We know it's not realistic to eliminate it altogether, but do your best to kind of limit
Yeah.
the screen time and the blue light, and then set boundaries with work, with your coworkers, if you're working from home with your kids, with your
Yes.
it's important to have boundaries for your mental health.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
hopefully this series was beneficial to you guys. You have anything to wrap it up?
That's it.
That's it. 7 strategies. There you go, guys.
Yes.
All right.
Do it. Start with one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start with one. Get really good at it, and then try another one.
Yep. Cool. All right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. We will talk to you next time.
All right. Bye.